So the Alife sessions, was started. We kind of went through this before, but the Alife sessions when the original Alife on Orchard Street lost its lease, that was a space that was kind of dedicated to art. It was a big space. It was, it was used to show art, visual art, and when we lost the lease there, we moved our location to a much smaller spot on Rivington Street. The space was small, the interior of the store was a lot smaller. It didn't really allow us to do any of the art stuff that we were doing, but it had a backyard, which was, used, much later to do these events and stuff that we would do. So, not being able to really do the visual arts, we got into music in regards to using the backyard as a venue. So the first, and this is weird too, but the first Alife session came about through a graffiti buddy, John Crash. Basically, Crash had connections with, I guess, all types of people, but one of the people he was in touch with was Eric Clapton, who he was doing guitars for. And so Crash hit me up like, have you ever heard of John Mayer? I'm like, not really. I didn't know who John Mayer was. So he's like, you should meet John Mayer. So I'm like, cool, let's meet John Mayer. So John Mayer came by the studio at the time on the Bowery. He brought his new album. We sat, we listened to it, we talked shit, We're like, what are we gonna do? Let's fucking just do what we do and fucking create some kind of, organic event. So, more in our lane was Just Blaze, who was a sneaker connoisseur, involved in music as well. So we thought it would be good just to kind of have these two guys that never met, that are kind of on different, spectrums of music, but, being musicians, they're both creative, being involved in music. So we said, we don't know what's going to come out of this. Let's put these two guys together. Let's invite a very limited bunch of people to come and see what's going to happen, and just, take it from there. And from that experience, it turned into a really just a freestyle jam, where these guys that never met before played music side by side for like 2 hours and didn't say a fucking word to each other. They just kind of made, they created something, and that was the birth of basically the Alife sessions, which has, Alife has, let's skip ahead, 7-8 years later, and Alife now is almost, I like to think of it as, it's a venue almost, it's an important venue in New York in regards to there's nothing else like it. And the performances that we get back there, because of the crowd and the performer being in the same space and it being so intimate, a lot of the performances are really great that happen back there. So, we've had everybody from Drake to 3 6 Mafia to Nas to, I don't even know, the list goes on, and, it's great. It's still in the realm of creative, and that's why we do it, and it's just great, and it's a give back to the customers and fans that have followed Alife.